Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the March 9th, 2021 edition of Mini Numerology Readings with Lindsay Knight. And this is where we have numerology-based readings, but Lindsay has also thrown in a couple of little curves with psychic dice, numerology dice, cards, Chinese sticks, whatever actually hits her fancy at the moment. Anyways, good evening. I'm Lloyd Woods. I'm with the Ninth Vibration, and I am the introducer to Lindsay Knight, who is also from the Ninth Vibration, but she also has the tag The Hermit Numerologist.
And almost soon to be Mrs. Lindsay Knight Woods.
She keeps on pushing. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Not that I'm trying to change the subject or anything, but anyways, thank you, everyone, for coming into the store. We appreciate all the support that we have been getting, and we're very proud that everyone has been coming in saying we miss you, and I gotta say we miss you as well. It's been a lot of fun, and there's been a lot of people coming in and a lot of new people. And for all of you who have joined in with us on these mini numerology readings, thank you for your dedication and spending your evening with us. It really means a lot to us as well. There's been a lot of questions that we've been fielding at the store, and people are looking for readings at the store. Unfortunately, still with this COVID situation the way it is right now, we're holding off on doing any face-to-face readings at the store until we actually get into the orange status. Now, from what I understand from the newspapers, that we were pretty close for a while, but all of a sudden there was a spike that took us back into the red zone. So we're probably going to be another week or two before we can actually say that we're in the orange zone. But we just have to sit and wait. So keep in touch. We will be posting as soon as we're able to do the face-to-face readings and start bringing in the readers, and to have Lindsay doing readings at the store as well. Other than that, there's still lots of new stuff coming in. We just received a couple sets of chakra tune bowls, singing bowls, awful like the ones that Krista had announced a couple of weeks ago, with a black and gold ohm and the pastel colored chakra tuned singing bowls. Absolutely amazing. And they will reach into your soul very nicely. Good stuff to work with. And I think with that being said, there's going to be a few more announcements about new stuff coming in too. So as soon as they come in and they're ready to be put out onto the showroom floor, we're going to be doing those announcements as well. So I am going to be passing this over to Lindsay, and I hope everyone enjoys the readings tonight.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Take care, everyone.
Hello, peeps. Hello, friends. How's it going? How are you? Okay, now I've got to plug this in. Got to move this. Excited to be here. Glad to be reading. Excited. I've got to put my sound up so I can hear whoever's calling. So just so you know, I'm feeling like I'm going to be doing a bit of past life. And let's talk about past life for a moment. And I'm all about past life. For me, you cannot separate it. When I was going through my healing, and God knows I'm still in recovery, but it was so interesting to me because I knew whatever was going on with me, that I was being triggered in the present. Yes, part of it came from my mom, my environment as a child and all that sort of stuff. But I also could just feel that whatever it was old. And so that's why I drew in my energy, because I never look at what a person is doing, like never. I'm more curious at why they're doing it. And there is a reason. And sometimes, if you just believe like I believe, is when the physical body dies, the spirit comes away from the body, and we know that our soul lives forever, and it takes the imprint of that person's experience, and when we reincarnate or and come into another physical body, we may bring gifts where we can play piano at like 10 years old, or recite all this beautiful poetry, or we're just natural artists, or all this sort of thing. So if we bring the gifts, we can also bring some of unresolved trauma and injury. And so that's what really freed me. Like, honest to God, it totally freed me. And so that is why I'm so devoted. And so one thing I want I'm all about triggering. Like before, absolutely reactive state. Like I would just set off, and I would just set right off, and then I'd be going like, I don't understand why my response is so strong. Like, what is going on with me? And so one thing I want you to be really mindful of is your response to what's going on. If it's like, over the top, or you're easily sensitive to something, or you're absolutely, I guarantee it's connected with past life, and that's the whole thing. A lot of people say, I don't know why I'm doing this work. I don't know why I love horses. I don't know why I love, being alone. I don't know why I'm afraid to speak. And I guarantee a lot of it is linked to past life. So we're going to be working with my past life deck tonight. So it's all very cool. I'm excited. I'm still kind of fussing with it a little bit before I release it. But trust me, when it is released, we're going to have a party. Right, Lloyd?
You got it.
I mean, so if you'd like a reading, please text Lloyd. Please turn down the sound because we get feedback here and then I get cranky. Also, if you want to grab a pen, a piece of paper, who knows where I'm going? I never know. So it's all good. I want you to know I love you all. Thank you for showing up. I can't believe you're still showing up, actually. Mind you, we are kind of fun, eh, Lloyd, to hang out with?
We sure do try to be ourselves.
Okay.
And
there's the sound of love.
I've got the dingers.
Okay, we're going. We're working. We're rocking. Rocking and rolling. Here you go, darling. Thank you very much. Tons of fun. I love that, Karen. I gotta pull up my drawers. Is that wrong? I have to. Gotta pull up my jammies. You guys are awesome. So are you. Okay, let's hit number 2, babe. It's rock and roll.
Okay.
I'm in the mood to read tonight. I've kind of had a lazy day. Well, oh, she called back. Hello?
Hello, this is Natalie.
Okay, hi Natalie. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm great, thank you. Can you spell your name for me?
Sure, it's Natalie.
Okay, so that's good. I'll just do your first name. So you understand that you are an old soul.
Wonderful.
And that you're a very spiritually driven person. So you have a curiosity. It's not about judgment, it's more about curiosity. Like there's always another question for you. The other thing that I find, because you have 4 vowels in your name, this lets me know that you heal through the art of communication. And this is through, like you would be great at being able to you're quite neutral in your approach. Like you don't take sides and you try to bridge and you heal through communication. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yes.
Yes, and would you also agree that you're very hard on yourself?
For sure.
Yeah, and that for you, like you're a perfectionist. Some people like to call it perfectionist, control freak. No doubt in my mind, you're a very independent person, that you'll give of yourself, but it's hard for you to receive. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and one thing I want you to do is in everything there has to be a balance. If we just give ourselves away, we have and don't receive, then our giving, our what we're doing is empty. So what I want you to do is I want you to receive more. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yes, and there's no doubt there's a bit of armor goes on with you, so there's a caution with you.
Always, yeah.
Okay. Your birth year, Natalie?
It is 1977.
And so, no doubt in my mind, in a past life, you suffered a heartbreak. And this would have, so there's no doubt that you'd be sensitive and to any type of wounding in this particular lifetime. So whether you lost a child in a past life, whether your heart was broken, whether there was some sort of betrayal that happened, there is no doubt that you brought it forward. So you would be sensitive just as a result of that. Also, there's no doubt in my mind in a past life you were contracted to be the energy of a sponge. So what that means is there's something deep in your soul that believes that you are contracted to absorb the emotion of other people. So there's times where you just feel very overwhelmed, or you just don't know what's yours and what's theirs.
Like an empath.
It's even more than an empath. Like, all of us are empaths. You know, every single one of us are empaths. All of us are incredibly intuitive. It's just that not all of us are contracted to absorb the emotion. Me, I was contracted. I came to this life in an armor. It's like I'm not absorbing nothing. I mean, Lloyd is the very first male in my life that I actually allowed myself to receive. So for you, there's no doubt you are highly intuitive, very sensitive, like heightened senses, but that you were contracted, so you step into things. Your birth month?
April.
Yeah, and see, no doubt, I guarantee in a past life, you were a person of great power, and that you took this very responsibly. Like, I mean, it wasn't as though, like, for you, it was more, I feel responsible for the welfare of these people. I make decisions. They're very powerful decisions. And so there's no doubt in my mind that you brought that forward. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Like,
something I'd like to know more of, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, what's really interesting is so far with your numbers, with your aspects in connection with past life, I guarantee that you had to stay more in your head, more in your logic. And so that's why at this time in your life that you're very interested in the emotional side and the more, the emotional aspects of who you are. And so, no doubt. Also, with the emperors, they tend to come to this life already armored. And if there was some sort of betrayal, say for instance, everybody turned their backs on you and you were sort of outcast, that would give you a sense of betrayal that you would have brought forward. And so that helps you to understand why you may just feel caution around people, where you have difficulty with attachment or trusting, where you want to do things for yourself, where there's a fear of persecution or judgment or doing something wrong and being criticized. So one thing I definitely would do is I would just have a conversation with the drive and the will inside of you, and I want you to say to yourself that you don't have to prove your worth, that you don't have to prove how good you are, and you don't have to prove your value by doing it all. Like, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes.
Your birth month?
Was April.
I'm sorry, your day?
25th.
Yeah. Wow. See, for you, I guarantee in a past life you were a soldier, or you were a guard, you were a person with great power, and that you were very armored. So one thing, like, you understand that you carry an armor, and when you're triggered, it comes right up. Okay, like you get upset, you get triggered, your armor comes up, and basically you retreat, you pull away. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, it can, absolutely.
Okay, and then what you do is you just go into your mind. It's like over analyzing, and you kind of stay there. And a lot of people believe they're stuck in their mind, but I don't believe that's true, because there's just this constant kind of circling. And for you, there definitely is a pull. should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I absolutely kind of analyze every aspect of people's actions, facial features, the way that they behave, all those things all go in together, for me to form an opinion or my reaction and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and you're
Maybe
very good
so
at
much
it.
overly so.
Yeah, you're very, very good at it. Like, you can tell whether a person is full of shit. Like, when it comes to justice, I have about 7 minutes to prove that I know what I'm doing. Because they just shut off. Like, they just say, she's just full of shit. Like, I'm not listening to anything she's saying. And so for you, there's no doubt that there's this huge part of you that moves in the world in terms of your logic. And yet there's this other side of you that is highly sensitive. And you can walk in two worlds. You can walk in both those worlds. And in fact, I'd encourage you to do that. I mean, I'm completely logical. I mean, I'm a logically based person. But I'm also extremely spiritual, and I'm totally cool with that. I mean, with you, one thing I definitely what I feel from you is there is a pull, and this is where very early in your life, your energy was divided. And so with you, there's always got to be this conflicted energy. It's like, and it's almost as if it's how you have always been. So, it's really being able to kind of look at that and just saying, what is your mind, what is it focusing on? Like, what are you feeding your spirit? We can talk ourselves out of everything, or we can back ourselves out of everything, right? So yes, this year for you is a shedding year. And what this means is that you get to restore your personal balance. Last year would have been a very difficult year for you in terms of emotion. Perhaps things triggered you. There may be a feeling, because you understand, for you, as long as you know that you have the power, because you can make anything happen, you are completely comfortable. But when you lose your sense of power, that's when you struggle. Like, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just because there's a part of it feels almost like a dread, where you feel like you need to know what's coming, that you've got to be prepared for what's coming. And I guarantee this is a residual from a past life, this fear. And yeah, just 1 second, I'm going to do a calculation for you here. Gosh, my ears are burning a bit. So is there a female in your life that has passed away?
I mean, we could be talking about possibly a grandmother, but as far as a mother or a sister or anything close like that, no.
No, this doesn't feel like your grandmother. It feels like either somebody that you went to school with, someone that you worked with. They died very early in their life.
Well, I mean, if I was to, my recent dream, I did have a dream about a friend of mine from work that did pass away. I wouldn't necessarily say it was early in life. She was in her 50s, but I mean, I guess that's early enough, and it was quick.
Yeah, and like, I guarantee if you talk to my mom's going to be 99. My mother would say that she was like a baby, right? Like, there's a lot of life left, and all I know is that she left and she had unfinished business, like big time. Like, she left,
for sure.
And it's almost as if she just had unfinished business. And her name.
You need her name?
Yes. Patty?
Yes.
Okay. And so, and what is the connection with Patty with you?
I guess we grew to be close friends. I know when she was sick and, kind of had surgery on her knee and that sort of thing, I would bring over food just to help her get by so she didn't have to struggle so much with family. And
yes,
we just had a close relationship. All of us girls went, and rented cottages and things like that.
Yes, and you understand.
And she was the one person that I couldn't read when I was reading cards. She wouldn't allow it. So
right, and what's really wild is this is what I was just going to say to you. Like, you could read her like a book. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Just by looking at her, you knew what was going on with her. And just so you know, she did not want to go there. Like, she just didn't.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that.
She's letting me know that she doesn't want you to take it personally. She just did not want to go there, like, at all. And so
Yeah.
just so you know, okay? 2014, there would be something going on there. 2005,
Okay.
1996,
Okay.
1987, so you would have been 10,
Mhm.
and 1978.
Okay.
Okay? And so, yeah, just so you know, I'm going to do your cards for you. Just one sec. So this year is a shedding year. So whenever there is a shedding year, what I say to people is I want you to look, like all of us have a table inside of us. And if we go to the table, we get to see what's on the table. And so, you know, it's where you literally go. If you notice that the table is full of garbage, then you get rid of the garbage. If the table is full of other people's stuff, then you get rid of that. So this is really being able to see what's in front of you, where you want to put your energy, where you don't want to put your energy. Last year, you would have learned who was there for you and who was not there. And so this year is really a shedding year, and you're like 2 steps away from really restoring your balance. I mean, it's really wild, like, because you understand, for you, smell and sound is huge. Like, would you
For
agree?
sure.
And
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
we just brought in these malas, and I've just been making them, and they're cedar, and they have the most beautiful smell. And I just think for you, it would be a really earthy, like, you understand, you like earthy smells.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and it would just be really good, just for you. Okay, let me just check out your past life. I just feel like I have all this information for you. It's just insane.
Great.
It's really insane. So this is your first card, and so this is the card that lets me know that deep down inside there's a bit of a scream going on with you that you're harboring, and this scream underneath it can be just frustration. It can be just feeling like, oh my God, I didn't ask for any of this. It can be like your life circumstance, challenges that you've gone through, that you just felt like you had no power. And so, like, you understand that there's a bit of a scream going on inside of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay?
And it was probably just from past trauma, is what I think. Kind
Well,
of working through that.
it's just really interesting. It's like one of those things, like, no doubt in my mind that because of your past life, you would control your emotions. You know what I mean? Like, you would come, and in that particular lifetime, because you were a leader, because you were responsible for other people, that you would just kind of control and bury your emotions. And so part of it can just come from that as well. This also lets me, here's your next card, this lets me know that in fact you're a hero. You are a person that inspires. You're a person that never gives up. You're a person that loves the challenge. You're a person that can say, you never mind, just bring it. I can do it no matter what. And so no doubt you have this real drive inside of you, and you're a natural born leader, and you're here to inspire. It can also represent that in a past life, that whatever happened, you may have suffered some injury that would have limited your movement. And so even in this lifetime, when you feel limited, your physical body, that it's just frustrating for you. This is your next card, and this is the Union card. So this talks about intimacy. So there is no doubt in my mind, in a past life, you suffered a loss that you never recovered from. And so this would really impact your intimacy in this life, and just that fear. It's like there'd be times where when you feel love, and it would be almost, you'd be afraid to lose that person, or you'd be afraid to trust, or whatever. So just so you know. Your next card, this is all about dread. It's also about the person that sort of has to prepare for what's coming, and they seek shelter through that awareness. So for you, it's like, I call it the hawk energy, you know, where you're just always aware of your surroundings, and you see things coming before they come. And it's, in a way, it's to prepare you. Also, this is your last card, and this speaks about, this is the mule. And in my deck, this really speaks about a burden. So this may be a burden that you carry from a past life. It may be a burden that was your mother's, that you absorbed and carried on her behalf So this lets me know that this is a good year for you to sort of look at what you're ready to let go of, so you can lighten your spirit and just feel more liberated and at peace, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so anyways, it must go, but just so you know, I want you just to know that you're this brilliant visionary, that you're this brilliant mind, but I want you to just be really aware of what you're feeding your spirit. What is the dialogue that's going on inside of you? And I guarantee, because of the past life, when you're triggered in this life, it triggers your mind. And the only reason it triggers your mind is to kind of distract you from your emotions. So I just want you to be aware of that, if that makes sense.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
I'm gonna really think on that. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, but I don't want you to think too much. Don't you love that?
Just let go.
You know,
and
it's just
maybe
being,
do some meditation.
yeah, just be aware. Like, just be aware that what you do when you were triggered, okay? But thank you
Okay.
very much for texting. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now.
Okay, bye now.
Bye-bye. Sorry, Lloyd. It wasn't, oh, hang on. I gotta shuffle up my cards. Gotta get a drink.
Come on, get it going.
Yes, darling. Bring it on, baby. Okay, we're doing it, okay. Thanks, Lloyd.
You're welcome.
Gosh, my ears are really burning with her. That's kind of cool. Here you go, sweetie.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Can you spell your name for me?
Karen, Karen.
E-N?
Yes.
And your birth year?
1964,
And your month?
January
And your day?
10.
Wow. So you understand that you're a bit of a shapeshifter, like a wizard energy, and that you have the ability to mirror other people. In other words, you can walk into a room, feel the room, know where you want to go, know where you don't want to go. You can scan people you feel and highly intuitive. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and that, I mean, for you, it's like there's no doubt in my mind there can be a bit of avoidance, you know, like that you don't like confrontation, you don't like conflict, you'll say yes when you want to say no, that you know, most people would say that you're very easygoing and that, you know, you sort of move within the world and people are drawn to you because they see the light in you and they see the fact that you're not judgmental at all. Like, does that make sense?
Yes.
And you want to know something? like you understand that that's not who you are,
Yes.
right? Like, you understand what I'm saying? What you
Yes.
put out there, what you project out to the world is not who you are. Like, because you're a very intense, very deep thinking spiritual person. Would you not agree?
Yes.
And you know what you like and you know what you don't like.
Yes.
And there's no, like, I mean, for you, you are honest with some people in your life, but not very many. And you know what I want you to do? You got to, okay? You ready? Raise your right hand.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Ready.
Okay. I, in the
in
year
the year
2021,
2021,
am committed
am committed
to bring forward
to bring
a
forward
more
more
authentic truth.
authentic truth.
Yes, because you want to know something. Here's the thing, is when we bring a version of ourselves to the world, and you know, and for whatever reason, whether, you know, we don't want to be criticized or we don't want to be alone or we don't want to be judged or whatever, like, you understand, when we are a version, it leaves us empty.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, I mean, people deserve to know who you are because you have so much to offer, and there's no doubt in my mind that when you get triggered, you get tight.
Yes.
Yes. Like, I mean, it's just so interesting to me. I love it. And this is a shedding year for you. I love it. See, you want to know something, like, you understand that you're 10 steps ahead of any given situation.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you prepare. Like you prepare, like you feel like there's something going on in your spirit that you believe you need to know what's coming.
Yeah.
What if you're wrong?
True.
You know, what if you're wrong? Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be whatever it's going to be. And like, there's no doubt in my mind that you're a record keeper. And what that means is that I guarantee in a past life, you were a scribe. So things that happened, events that happened, you knew that it was important. It was important to record those events, just like in this life for you, whether it's through pictures, whether it's, you know, you're a type of person that doesn't want to throw certain things out because it connects you to some sort of history. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. And so last year, there was something that triggered you. What was going on with you last year?
Last year, my mom passed away.
Yes. And your mother's birth year?
I need to find that out. She died she was 79? 75.
75 when she passed, okay. So that would be 1945?
I would say 42 for some reason.
42, okay. And her month?
June 2nd.
Wow. And see, what's really interesting, like, I mean, I have to be honest with you, I lost my dad like a year ago, and my mom's 99, and like she's, you know, like, I mean, now we got to focus on my mom, and like, you understand that, and I mean this in the most respectful way, is there's almost a relief. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like an emotional relief, because you tell me, how long have you worried about your mom?
A long while, I would say, yeah.
I would say even before you were born.
Yeah.
Yes. And so like, so all of a sudden now you don't have to worry about her anymore. Because I mean, she's, you know, she's no longer suffering. She's no longer in that space. And so let me ask you, what are you doing with yourself?
Right now, I've gotten more into, I started a new hobby.
Right?
Getting sort of back into reading.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just interesting. It's like there's a sense of liberation for you. And so, you know, it's like really being able to be okay with that. And do you know what was going on with your mother when she was pregnant with you?
I don't know, but I got a feeling it wasn't good.
Well, I can tell you, she wasn't in her body. So there was either pressure, like, were you the firstborn?
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's no doubt in my mind. And so just so you know, it's like, it's just interesting. So for you, that whole attachment would be very difficult. So, I mean, like, here is your mom. She's pregnant, first child. No doubt that there was stuff going on because she wasn't in her body. And so there, you didn't get what you needed. Because she was distracted by something else. I mean, innocent, right? Like, I mean, but at the same time, it would have its impact on you. 2014.
I can't say anything really stands out that I can think of.
Okay, 1996.
Yeah, I think my first marriage.
Okay. 1987 is another year. 1978.
That would have I graduated from public school.
Okay. And then 1969, so when you were 5. So you walk in the energy of 5. So what that lets me know is that you have a guardianship around you. And this guardianship, it's like, I mean, I sort of look at the path of 5 as a very spiritual one. So it lets me know that deep in your spirit, there's this moral, I call it the church inside of us. And I'm not talking about a church, I'm talking about a philosophy that we sort of live by. And so there's no doubt in my mind that you have like this priest inside of you, this old priest. And so it's just kind of interesting to me. And there's a bit of wizard in you as well, which is very cool. I mean, you have this really beautiful variety of numbers, which is just very cool. Okay, I'm going to do your past life. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, I'm just doing my stuff here. So this is the shadow card. So this lets me know that there's no doubt in my mind that there was some issue, that there was secrecy. There was some sort of issue that was hidden or not talked about, and so it shadows you. And so there's no doubt even in this lifetime, you would feel like whatever issue, it just kind of follows you and it doesn't seem to heal. And so it's kind of in the dark. It's like a part of you doesn't even know what it is. Here, wow, this is persecution. So like, have you ever had like, what's the word? Feelings like awareness of a past life persecution?
No.
Okay, so let me ask you, in this life, would you say that you're very sensitive to any type of judgment or criticism?
Yes.
And that you're fearful of any type of conflict or confrontation?
I don't like it.
Okay, and would you agree that there's a part of you that just doesn't want to create a disturbance, like you just don't want to create any type of trouble?
Yes.
Okay, I guarantee it is connected with a persecution in a past life. I mean, think about it. Like here you have a priest inside of you. So there is no doubt in my mind, no matter what you do in this world, that you put a lot of thought and a lot of emotional effort into doing the right thing. Would you agree?
I try. Yeah,
Yes.
I definitely try.
And so like, do you see how it just doesn't fit? Do you know what I mean? Like you know, you would never harm anybody. So then you wonder like where that fear is coming from. This card as well is all about liberation. So either you were oppressed in a past life, you were put down, you may have been a slave, you may have been, you know, under the power of someone else. For you in this life, feeling restricted or controlled would really upset you. And so it's like, yeah, which is very, very cool cards. This is the gifted. And so this lets me know that no doubt in my mind that you in a past life were really blessed before you came to this life. So I'm just here to say, I want you to have a conversation with your heart. I want you to have a conversation with your heart, and I want you just to appreciate how beautiful and gentle and loving and kind, because you understand you wouldn't hurt a fly. And I guarantee part of it is because the fact that you suffered a great persecution in a past life, and part of it is just because it's just not in your nature. And this is your next card. So this is the Conformist. So do you see this? There would be an oppression. And I guarantee that you would have either kind of relinquished your power or it would have been taken away from you. And there's no doubt in my mind that there would be something inside of you that believes that you did that because you were weak. And so in this lifetime, there would be times where you would feel that way. You'd be hard on yourself and just, you know, really struggle with your fears a bit. So that's what I think is shadowing you. So if you can sit down and have a conversation, like that's what I love so much about our spirit, is that I truly believe that our spirit, our soul, sometimes gets a little bit panicked and thinks that we're living in that same lifetime where we were persecuted. I know that that's one thing that was definitely triggering me. So just so you know, I hope that gives you a little bit of direction in where to go with that.
Definitely helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, thank you so much, Lindsay.
It's good to hear from you. I love you. Take good care.
You too. See
Okay.
you again, hopefully. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Very, very cool. Okay, I gotta shuffle up my cards, my love. How you doing over there, huh?
Good.
You're looking a little bit more awake. You came in looking like
Dragging my butt.
That's okay. You're allowed.
But
We had a
the
busy
bell
day
brings
yesterday.
me back.
The bell brings you back into your body.
You got it.
Okay, here we go.
You have to respect the bell.
Okay.
That and coffee.
Yes. Thank you, darling. Hi, is this Melissa?
Yes, it is.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Can you spell your name for me?
Sure. Melissa.
Yeah, see, this is really interesting because you understand, like, you understand that there's a bit of your spirit that is very addicted to being a little bit anxious. That you feed a certain anxiety in your life. That for you, if things are kind of quiet, that you'll throw a bit of a bomb on things.
Yeah, just spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just really interesting, and there's no doubt in my mind that you're a bit of a shapeshifter as well. Your birth year?
1984.
Okay. And your month?
04.
Wow, and your day?
15.
Okay. Wow, that's really interesting. Like, you understand that for you, you definitely are conflicted. Like, there's a part of you that stays a lot in your mind. Would you agree?
Yes.
And that when you get triggered, like there's this, and a lot of your, how can I say this? Like your emotion, like your personal emotion is you literally will absorb it like a sponge.
Right.
Yeah. Your birth, hang on one second. I want to just see. This is a big year for you. Last year you drew a line. What line did you draw last year?
Probably the breakup.
Sorry?
Probably my breakup with my last relationship.
Okay. And this person's name?
Junior.
Okay. And birth year?
1976.
And the month?
November.
And the day?
15.
Like, you understand that Junior messed with your security.
Yes.
And that he messed with your confidence.
Yes.
And that there's no doubt in my mind that he didn't take any responsibility for anything.
Nothing.
That's right. And I'm here to say to you, like, there is no doubt in my mind that line that you drew, it was the very first time in your life you drew a line. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
And like, there's no doubt in my mind that he was a wall.
Yes.
And what that means is he gave you nothing emotionally.
Yeah, no emotion.
Right. And I'm here to say, why do you think you drew a male to you that gave you very little emotion? Like, why do you think that was?
I'm not sure.
I can tell you.
Okay.
Okay? It's because you have no clue how to receive.
Yes.
Okay? Your father's birth year
1959.
and the month
August
and the day.
29th.
Okay? And like, you understand that your dad had like a wall.
Yes.
Yeah. See, like, I mean, like, that's what's just really interesting. And honest to God, like, I'm telling you, this wall, this Junior that absolutely knew how to push your buttons and he would mess with your head, I'm here to say that he taught you what you don't ever want again ever in your life.
Absolutely.
Like, don't you love that? Like, with you, like, what do you think would be the number one quality that you need in a partner?
Quality of a partner?
Yeah, what is the number one quality that you need in a partner?
Loyalty.
No. Warmth.
Honesty.
Someone who is warm, someone who is a humanitarian, someone who is kind. And when you're ready, and there's no doubt in my mind that you will be, when you're ready, I want you just to be really mindful. I'm going to push you out to date, but it's not to find a boyfriend. It's to be around the energy of men until you're not afraid of them anymore.
Right.
Like, does that make sense?
You're enough. Give me like heart palpitations.
I love that. And I mean, honestly, like, you're so sweet, and you have so much to give. And I mean, what you need is, you need someone, I guarantee, warm hands, someone who is at least 5 years older than you, somebody who just radiates, like, I mean, just radiates, where people are drawn to them, and where they have a laugh, and like, it's just, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, I guarantee that you drew this male to you. What year did you meet Junior?
2011, 2010.
2000.
10.
Okay, let me see. I want to see what was going on with you. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so there's no doubt that something happened in 2011. What happened there?
2011.
Yeah. It's where he hooked you in.
Oh, he hooked me in 2011.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, see? I'm telling you. 4 years old. I'm going right to your cards. Like, I mean, with you, like, I guarantee in a past life, you know, like, you were a person, like, you understand that you kind of saved Junior.
Yes.
Like, there were red flags around Junior.
So many red flags, and I was just like, meh.
And
Like,
yeah, and you want to know what's really neat? It's because, like, you're more comfortable with a broken male, because that way, I guarantee it's because that way all the attention goes on his brokenness.
yes, I love broken men for some reason. Broken projects.
Okay, ready? Right hand up. Up? Let me know when it's up.
Okay.
And you can't be laughing.
Okay.
Okay? I, in the year
In the year
2021,
2021,
release myself
release myself
from drawing men to me
from drawing men to me
that give me
that give me
nothing.
nothing.
Good for you. It's like, no more. It's over. Shut it down. It's like, no more. You know, it's like, because you want to know something, you have powerful, great things to do in this life. And this guy was just a complete distraction. And I'm calling you out. It's like me. I did the same thing. And then what happens is I meet the love of my life, and all I've done is grown. That's all I've done is grown. And I mean, I just, and with you, it's like there is like this priestess inside of you. And so there's no doubt in my mind, one thing I definitely would look at is, I want you to think, and I want you to sit down, and I want you to write down on pieces of paper what you have not forgiven yourself for. Okay? Because the only reason you would draw a male to you that would give you nothing is if you somehow believe in your soul that you deserve to be punished. Like, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And I want you to think about it. I really want you to think about it. And I want you to forgive yourself. We're a student in this life. I've made some terrible decisions. I've made some really great decisions. And I've tried to grow. I try to live more authentically now. I learned, and sometimes learned the hard way. But I mean, I want you just to own what you've done. I want you to forgive yourself, and I want you just to say, I deserve to be loved and supported and encouraged and all of that stuff. Like, do you hear me? I like how you go, mm-hmm. You're not listening.
I'm absorbing all of
Good. Well, you better be because I'm telling you. Okay, that's hilarious. All right. Here we go. We're going to have some fun. Okay. Here, hook. No doubt there's people that are hooked into your field. And you know that people are hooked into your field because these are the people that have the ability to push your buttons and manipulate you. And you will also know that you have hooks in your field if you alter or change or edit what you say. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. And so I want you not only to look at what you haven't forgiven yourself for, but I want you to consider who has a hook in you and where that hook is, okay? This is your next card. This lets me know in a past life that you walked with people that suffered. You sat by them as they left the earth. You had great compassion. Absolutely, you would absorb some of their emotions, some of their traumas, some of their heartbreak. And so that a part of your soul just feels the need to do that in this lifetime as well. And so even that, it's like, I want to inspire and encourage people to empower themselves. I don't want to take on their stuff. And so no doubt in a past life that you just did that because it's like, I'm comfortable because I was around the energy of people that suffered. And so I felt even that I didn't have the right to complain or I didn't have the right to, you know, nobody really focused on me. And so like no doubt in my mind, it's like so cool. This card lets me know absolute spiritual breakthrough, that this is a year where you're going to come into some spiritual truths. It may have happened already. It may have happened as a result of last year. And so this is where you just really come into this. I see it sort of like the tower energy in tarot. It's like this awakening, this realization that's going to shift and change your whole life. The next, lets me know that in a past life, there is no doubt that you were fractured, that you had a difficult childhood. If in this life you feel that you suffered some trauma or, you know, there was stuff going on as a child that really impacted you, whether it was fear, whether there was conflict, whether there was alcohol, whether there was fighting between the parents, whether there was a division in your energy, all I know is that you have the opportunity to kind of go back and heal that for yourself. And this also lets me know that you're an old soul and that you have a great spiritual depth and that you have this amazing faith. And so I want you just to know that, you know, in order for you to break through whatever it was that you were going through, it had to get that bad with Junior. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and like if you were to link your dad and then any partner, I guarantee it all goes back. And so it's like being able to see, you know, and then just saying, no, I don't want to revisit this. I deserve to be loved and appreciated and nurtured and supported. Okay?
Absolutely.
Did you like your reading?
I loved my reading.
Good. Well, I want you, because next year, I guarantee, if you really look, because here's the deal. It's not so much that Junior was a real wall, that he wasn't there emotionally for you. That's not what concerns me. It's why it was acceptable to you, because you and I both know that you would have suffered more than anyone knows. Like, would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. And a part of it is, you know, you're just this kind of innate feeling of wanting to protect this person. And I guarantee it's linked to past life. So thank you very much, Belissa. Do some work. You're going to have, you're right on the cusp of like this amazing breakthrough, and you're just going to rock it, girl.
I'm excited.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye.
See, really interesting. Okay, let me just shake up the cards for. Oh, there's Miss Megan Watson, sweetie. I gotta shake up my cards, Lloyd. I know you want to work me like crazy. You're funny. funny guy. You really are.
You you put a thing like this that makes noise in front of me, I gotta ring it.
There you go. Okay, bring it on, buddy. Bring it on, sweetie. Oh, I gotta have a drink. See, I'm not doing too bad.
No, you're not.
We're awful quiet over there, Lloyd.
I tried to be the strong, silent type.
Oops. I gotta get a bumper seat.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Can you spell your name for me?
Shirley.
Okay. And your birth year?
1976.
Okay. And your month?
August
Okay. And your day?
2nd.
Hang on one second.
Yeah.
Our dog just farted really bad. Godford, come on. No more bones for that dog. God. Okay, sorry. 10, 8, 9. Okay. So you understand that you're an old soul.
Okay.
Okay? And so where we need to go first is with your mother. Mother's birth year?
Mom is June 8th, 1958 or 9. No, my mom?
Yes.
59, I think.
Okay.
July 8th, 1959.
July 8th.
I'm just gonna make sure because.
Yeah, because I guarantee that there's no doubt if you were to look at your mom's history, there is no doubt in my mind, like you understand that she has a certain amount of heartbreak.
Yes.
And that you absorb that heartbreak.
Yeah.
And so you and there's no doubt that the reason that you absorbed it is that you were trying to take away her pain. Like, would that make sense?
Trying to help her with it, yes.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and so there's no doubt in my mind for you that you do this with everyone that you love.
Yes.
Okay? And so let me ask you, is there times in your life where you just feel a bit overwhelmed with that?
A lot of times, yeah.
Okay? And so what do you do? Like, what do you do in response to being overwhelmed?
I smoke pot.
Okay.
Or I go for like long walks and stuff like that.
Okay? And so,
Listen to music.
and you understand that for you, there's been a bit of silencing going on with you, that there's a part of you that is afraid to speak your truth.
Yes.
Okay, we're going there, okay? I'm going right to the deck because I can just feel it in you that like you hold like it's almost as if you just bury it. Like you just bury it. And there's a part of you that feels that you can compartmentalize it, like just push it aside. Like does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's just go. I want to see. I'm going to work past that deck on you. I want to see what vibration you're in. Wow. See, almost everyone tonight has been in, like, there's no doubt that you've experienced some sort of emotional breakthrough this year.
Yes.
And this would be connected to last year, where you had to renegotiate some relationships. Does that make sense? And so,
Absolutely.
and so there's no doubt in my mind that you are working through your emotion.
Yes.
And I guarantee it's probably the very first time that you've ever done this in your life. Like, would you agree?
Absolutely.
Good. And so I want you to be kind and gentle with yourself. I want you to know that, like, I mean, sometimes heartbreak leads to our greatest period of strength and growth, right? Because, like, there's no doubt in my mind that for you, you just give and give and give. And the problem with that is that people will take advantage of it and then you feel betrayed. Like, does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
That's right. And so, do you see how we kind of set ourselves up to be kind of betrayed?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. It's just very, very interesting to me. Hang on. I want to go here, and then I want to go here. (2015), what was going on there?
2015. Maybe I might have went through a separation. I know that was just after my little boy was born in 2014, so just after that.
Okay.
Or maybe, no, it's when my second oldest child went with his father.
Just so you know, love, this year, that's what's resurfacing. There was a part of you that didn't know how to cope with that loss.
Yes.
And that betrayal.
Absolutely.
Okay, your son's name.
Seth.
Okay, birth year.
2006.
And the month.
March.
And the day.
3.
And you want to know something, like you understand that, I mean, for you, it was like you never thought in a million years that your son would leave you and go with his father.
Never.
And so there's no doubt in my mind that you just, it's something that you get to work through, because I guarantee you your son was very torn.
Oh, absolutely.
Like completely. Yeah.
It was an ordeal,
Yeah, it was like completely torn. And
absolutely.
So, and he didn't know where to go. So did you have children that remained with you when
Yes.
Seth went away? And so was Seth the only child that went with the father?
Yes.
And do you know why Seth did that?
I think it was a lot that, like, he had a sister, like a younger sister with me, and that was bothering him that he wasn't the only child anymore. And then also his dad just had gotten married and they had stepkids, so they named just Seth.
Yeah,
so
and
he wanted to go try to live with dad and see what it would be like.
yeah, and there's no doubt in my mind also is that he just didn't want him to be alone.
Yes.
Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Like, your ex's name?
Eric.
Okay. And birth year?
1969.
And the month?
July.
And the day?
9.
Wow, see, your son has a soul contract with his father.
Wow.
Just so you know. And so if you look at the history of the father, that your son would definitely have that connection with him. And this is a past life connection. So whether your son felt responsible for him or this relationship really challenges him spiritually, all I know is that I find with, same-sex parent has a huge impact on us, right? Like, I mean, for sons and their fathers and daughters and their mothers. And so just so you know, like, I just want to see what was going on with Eric in 2006. And
yeah,
so,
I left him in 2007.
Yeah, and I guarantee you that there was trouble in 2006.
Oh yeah, I found him on drugs.
Yeah, and I guarantee that, your son would kind of follow that legacy. And I'm not talking about him going into drugs, just the fact that at the time of his birth, things were very unsettled between the two of you.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Like, just, don't you think that's cool? Like, it's so cool. So I don't want you to take it personally.
No.
But see, like with you, even though you say no, not at all, I guarantee that it wounded you deeply, like really deeply. And so this is one thing that I want you just to know. Like, it was like, it had nothing to do with you. It had to do with the agreement or the contract between Seth and his dad. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, just a second. I'm going to do your cards for you. It's just very, very interesting. Let me see. I want to see what was going on with you in 2000.
Yes, that was always my special boy, so I was very broken.
Yeah. And see,
And then,
6, 7, 8. But see, you also have a soul contract with your son. So I'm just here to say that there is no doubt in my mind that Seth was torn. Like his soul, not him, but his soul was torn. He didn't know where to go. He just didn't know where to go. He didn't want to, he just felt very divided. And so when did Seth come back?
I got him back finally. Like, I didn't have any visitation or anything with him for like 18 months.
Okay.
I had to find his dad. He moved and everything. So he was with his dad for about 18 months when I finally got him.
Okay.
And CAS was in the process of removing Seth from the home.
Right. Yeah.
Being Crown Ward. And I got there just like maybe a week in time.
Yeah. And I'm just here to say to you that, you know, like whatever, you know, when you look at that, all that is if you can get through that and like almost like muster up the strength to confront that, then you can get through anything. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so like that's what this year is about. It's about like there's no doubt from 2015 to this year. I mean, you know, I can tell you that when that went down, like you didn't feel it because you were busy. Like you were busy trying to sort out your stuff. You were busy raising other kids. You were busy trying to, you know, tread water and all that sort of stuff. And so now is when you're going to feel that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like we've been kind of convinced that we need to attach a certain event or a certain experience to our emotion. It's just not true. So just so you know, whatever unlocked your grief, and this would also be connected with last year, it's like you would have been grieving everything, like everything. Right. So just so you know, okay? And that would be connected to 2006, which is your son. Let me see. I'm going to give you another date. 1997.
Oh my gosh, that was the year that I was adopted by my grandparents, and that was the year my grandfather passed away.
Yeah, just so you know. Like, you see, here's your grandfather, then your son. First your father, then your grandfather, then your son. Like, do you hear what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's like a loss, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So when your son left in 2000, whatever year it was, 2015, you experienced the same loss as when your grandfather passed away. It resurfaced that injury.
Right.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Hang on. Lloyd's coming at me with the bell. 1979, so this would be when you were 3 years old.
Okay.
Okay? All right, I'm going to do your cards. Oops. So this lets me know definitely there was a fracturing as a child in your life. So whether there was conflict, divorce, alcohol, you know, the environment was scary or whatever, no doubt in my mind that you left a piece of yourself behind in your childhood. Also, this also lets me know this is the card that speaks about being like bit spin. So when you get upset, like you literally come out of your body, like you just come right out of your body, and there's a part of you that, like, you understand that, like you come out of your body. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you, where do you go?
I'm not really sure.
Okay, so what helps you to come back?
Just the feeling of like my kids are here. Basically, my kids are what keep me here.
Yeah, and it's just amazing, like when you think about it, right?
Absolutely.
This is a card that lets me know in a past life that you suffered a fracturing as well. And there was a part of you that definitely gave up and didn't want to be here anymore. And so there's no doubt in my mind, like, that this has revisited you in this lifetime. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
And I mean, like, no doubt in my mind that there's a part of you that in fact may have left spiritually, but you stayed physically. Like, would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, just so you know, like, I mean, it's just very, very, and like, I mean, it's an interesting, complicated card, because no doubt that you could have exited, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, why didn't you? What kept you here?
My children, I don't want to leave them behind. I don't want them to feel what I felt not having my mother.
And you want to know something that's really amazing to me is I don't believe you. The reason that you stayed and didn't leave is because you are a hero. You are powerful, you are just, you are right. And I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that, you know, I'm not dismissing what you're saying, but I'm just here to say is it was a choice based on the fact that you were not going to give up.
Right.
Okay? This lets me know in a past life also that you were outcast. So this lets me know, no doubt in this life, you're sensitive to any type of dismissal. You're sensitive to a fear of losing all of your assets. You may have a fear of loss of money, or just that feeling that, you know, you may lose everything. And so there's a part of you that definitely struggles with that.
Absolutely.
And then this lets me know liberation. So whatever was going on with you in that past life, that you in fact liberated yourself, and I guarantee that you're drawn to partners that often will enslave you or overpower you or control you. And so, like, what's really amazing is this is just a really good year for you. This is a year where you get to be able to look at your wounds. You get to be able to acknowledge what those wounds are. And it's not like this dark space. It isn't. It's more like looking back and going, I went through this and I went through that, because there's no doubt in my mind that you suffered a lot of heartbreak. And there's no doubt that you've never really allowed yourself to honor and feel it. And this is the year that you get to do that. Okay?
Oh, that's good. That's amazing.
Yeah.
'Cause I need it this year.
Yeah. And so, like, just so you know. Okay, Shirley? Did you like your reading?
Thank you. I did. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so do the work. Like, just do the work, and you can always text back just to let us know how you're doing.
Well, thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Shirley. Bye
Have a
now.
great night.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Just amazing, 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 amazing. Like, don't you think that's amazing? I think that's amazing.
It is. Very much so.
Like, every one that I've read tonight, I could have read for them for like an hour. Like, you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of information out there right now. Look at you looking at me with love in your eyes. You're sitting there going, okay, hurry up, be quiet, Lindsay, just get moving.
I would never do that.
No, of course not. How could I have been so wrong? Okay, here we go. Here you go, my darling.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, is this Angie?
This is Angie. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Can you spell your name for me?
Yeah, it's Angie.
Okay. And your birth year?
1977,
Okay. And your month?
December
And your day?
14th.
Wow. Wow. I mean, like, you understand, like, for you, that you are an emotional sponge.
Yeah.
And that whatever's going on with you is going on from the inside out. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that you're, like, highly intuitive, that you're a person that definitely, I call it, again, you've got a church inside of you. Like, there's a priest inside of you. that you're a very moral person, that you're a very devoted person, that you're a person that would never do anything to harm anyone. Like, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
And would you agree that you're incredibly sensitive and that you can read people and as they're in front of you and you know whether they like you or whether they don't like you?
Yeah.
Okay?
Whether I understand it or not, yeah.
Okay? So if you get the vibe, if you get the vibe that a person isn't getting you or doesn't like you, what do you do?
I kind of shut down.
Yeah. And
Shut
I'm
down and I obsess about it. Like, I think about it a lot.
yeah, and because you understand that their look, the look they give you, you believe that look has to do with you.
Yeah.
What if you're wrong?
Yeah.
You know, what if you're just this beautiful, sensitive person that's just always wanted to please, always wanted someone to tell you that you're so good and you're so lovely and you do so much and you're so kind and you're so compassionate and you're so bloody hard on yourself? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really interesting to me. Like all these women tonight that are texting and I'm doing readings for. I mean, they're all old souls. Every single one of them, without exception, has gone through persecution and that has really undermined their confidence. Like, I mean, do you know what I'm saying? And that you would be very triggered into a state of kind of shrinking and that you are very sensitive to any type of shaming.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 11, 12, 13. See, I love this. You know, this year, guess what you get to do this year? You're going to love it. Guess what you get to do? You get to do the absolute opposite of what you normally do.
Yeah.
So I want you to just absolutely, and I want you to, you know, okay, I don't trust you because that's kind of a little bit of a, not a real strong, okay? So I want you to raise your right hand. You ready?
Okay.
Okay, tell me when it's up. Okay?
It's up.
I,
In
the year
the year
2021,
2021,
am committed
am committed
to do the absolute
to do the absolute
opposite
opposite
of what
of what
I normally do.
I normally do.
And do you know why it's so important you do that?
Why?
Because last year you planted a seed, love. What seed did you plant last year?
The seed to do what I'm here to do.
Okay. And so, like, and what does that mean? Like, tell me what that means for you.
What that means for me is I finally get to serve in the way I want to serve
Okay.
in this world.
Okay. And so you understand that in order to do that, to be a leader, would you agree that a powerful leader and a spiritual leader at that, there's no doubt that you're a spiritual leader, do you see the importance that that leader does not shrink?
Yeah, I
Good.
do.
Good. 2017 would be a big year for you.
2017.
Yeah.
2017. What happened? I had my second child.
Okay. And your child's name?
Leah.
Okay.
L-E-A.
Okay. And that's in 2017?
That was in December 2017. Yeah.
Okay. And the day?
December 1st.
Okay.
She wasn't supposed to happen.
See that?
Like,
Can I
we
say
had
this
to
to you?
grieve- We had to grieve it. Like, we had to grieve that we might not have a second child, and then she came.
You want to know something, love? Leah is the very same energy as you. You have a soul contract with your daughter. And do you know what that means?
Yeah, I do.
That means that you prayed for her.
Yeah.
And you want to know what that means?
What?
That means is that you got people on your side that are real powerful. Like you got a guardianship. And so you do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay. And so, like, because she shares the same energy as you, she is on your path. And so, let me ask you a question, okay? You ready for this?
Yeah.
Like, you understand you have a hard time saying no without feeling guilty.
Yeah.
Okay? And so, do you believe that your daughter, Leah, needs to learn how to say no without feeling guilty?
No, she seems to be able to say no.
Yeah. And I'm just
Quite
here to.
well, actually.
And what's really amazing is that there's no doubt in my mind that that's what she's doing now. But I mean, down the road, because she definitely shares the same energy, because I guarantee at one time you absolutely had the ability to say no, and that was taken from you.
Yeah.
Okay, just so you know. 2008 would be another big year.
2008 was another big year. Oh my goodness, I can't even think of what was 2008. That feels like so long ago.
Yeah. 1999 would be another year, 1990, and then 1981. So you would have been how old? 4?
So 1981, I would have been 3 or 4. Yeah, I would have been 4 there.
Okay.
So that would be when my abuse started.
Yeah. Just so you know. So, I mean, it's like, just so you know, I mean, that changed everything for you. It changed your path. And see, this is what's just really wild, is that there's no doubt in my mind that in this year, you get to take back your power. You get to take back your power. And so when you say that you're going to start doing the work that you're destined to do, what kind of work are you doing?
Shifting the collective in this world, moving people into their power.
Yeah. And see, what's really amazing is I guarantee with you, you are all about like soul retrieval work.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool is this is what I believe when we experience a trauma early in our life, what happens is we fracture and we leave a piece of ourselves behind, like you. There's a piece behind when you were 4 years old, okay? So it's like really being able, and see, you walk in the energy of 4. So this is a natural born leader. This is an absolute spiritual leader. And so it's being able to go back, and I'm not talking about the inner child work. Like, I appreciate and honor, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm actually talking about a piece of yourself that you fractured, because it wasn't even just so much about the abuse. It's the fact that no one saw that you were dying. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, it's like with me, right? Like, that's when I had to go back and do some recovery, like with spiritual fracturing and stuff for myself. Like, everybody thought it was this. Everybody thought, okay, this is what kind of messed you up. And it was like, no, it's complicated. It's not just about the abuse. So I want you just to know that you would be you would be so good at it, and you work with a collective, like you do work, and there's a guardianship around you. And if I were you, I would figure out who it is, because this guardianship who steps around you, this collective, there is no doubt in my mind that they want to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm going to do, don't you think that's the coolest thing ever?
That is really cool.
Like, it really, really is cool. Like, I mean, and no doubt in my mind. Okay, let's go. So, this lets me know that you absolutely have been silenced. And so there would be a secret, there would be something that wasn't discussed. You know, and obviously I'm going to be very sensitive to you, Angie. Like, I don't want to get into too much here. But I mean, just so you know, it's like we're locked in. Like, we are locked in with our trauma. And we feel responsible. So just so you know. Also, for you, this would be the umbilical cord. So this lets me know that even the actual severing of the cord for you would have been very dramatic. Like it would just be like, we come to this life connected to another human being, and within seconds that's kind of stripped from us. So there is no doubt in my mind that you would have an impact. So that would be another thing, that you could work on is, I did this meditation at the store, and it's like I took us back to the moment of conception. Only what we did was we created a wall of light where it kind of protected us from the energy of the mother. And we also went back to the actual severing, which was very, very cool. This also lets me know that there's a church inside of you, that you're a spiritual leader, that there's no doubt in my mind that there's also in a past life where you were sort of kind of, I would say, kind of shamed into conforming. I do believe that it's quite possible you were an orphan, or that you had lost a parent in a past life, so that would have a really big impact on you as well. Okay?
Yeah.
This card really speaks about the dialogue that you send to yourself. So there's something, or there's a voice, or there is some dialogue inside of you that kind of undermines your success. Would you agree?
All the time. I'm just writing a tapping script about it. Yeah.
Okay, and you want to know something that's really neat? What I want you to do is I want you to confront it. I want you to call that essence forward, and I want you to sit down, and I want you to have a conversation with it and just say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm no longer giving you power. This is because you understand that dialogue keeps you safe.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And so there's no doubt. This also lets me know that you absorb a lot of the other energy of other people. So you're very sensitive to suffering. You're very sensitive. So you're a bit of a sponge. So if I were you, I would just make sure that you have some tourmaline on you while you're working. I also would make sure that there's lots of selenite around you while you're working, because you're just like this intuitive sponge. You're like a little sponge cake.
Awesome.
Yeah, and next year is where you're really going to come into your life's purpose. Like this year, I don't want you to get stuck in your mind, and I don't want you to think that you have to, do this and perfect something. I want you just to do the work, because whatever work you do for yourself, that is what is going to just change not only your life, but the people that come to see you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Did you like your reading?
I love my reading.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So just remember, do the opposite, okay?
Do the opposite. I swore. Yep.
Yeah, you did. And trust me, you got like a priestess in you, so you're not going to lie. And I can hone in on you and say, is that Angie? Is she doing that or is she not?
And well, Megan Watson is my best friend. She'll keep me in line.
Megan Watson is the sweetest thing on the planet. We love her at the ninth. And thank you so much, Angie, and do the work, love.
Thank you, I will.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye, thank you. Gosh, like really, 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 really interesting. Hey, hon, can you turn around the clock so I can see the time? I don't know why that's important to me.
I am keeping you honest.
Yes, you are. That's true. I'm not doing bad.
No, I'm keeping you on track.
That's so good. Okay. Don't you think it's funny? Which dog was it that let out the little...
Oh, Fergus.
Gosh, he's really speaking his truth tonight, isn't he? God.
Oh, Lord. I don't know if it's truth or what.
Can keep my dog.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you very much. Can you spell your name for me?
It's Jennifer, Jennifer.
Wow, Wow, like that's pretty wild. Like, I mean, I could do a reading just on your name. Like, what's really interesting, if you look at your cornerstone letter, which is the first letter in your name, you see it looks like a little hook.
Mm-hmm.
And so this lets me know most people that come with a J name in their life, they usually feel on the hook. They feel responsible. They're very sensitive to pressure. No doubt people have the ability to push your buttons. And what's really amazing is your soul essence letter, which is the first vowel in your name, is an E. And I call this the mind, body, spirit letter. So it lets me know that you're a very deep spiritual person that really questions a lot of things. And then if you look at the double N's, do you see the double N?
Yeah.
Do you see how it goes up and down and up and down and up and down?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, no doubt, like when things happen with you, like they come in twos. You know what I mean? Like you feel it double, like you feel it
Yeah.
triple. And so
Yeah.
just so you know, which is just really interesting. I really like that. And then what's really cool is your last letter, which is your capstone letter. This shows me that you've got a bit of armor going on, so you're a very private person. Like when you're upset, like you pull away, and you may be wounded. But what's really wild is you still give back to the world, and this is what's really wild is you could be like having the worst time, and you're so good at pretending that you're fine, and so most people don't even know you're dying. Like, does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah, and see, like, it's neat. Like, if you look at the letter of R, right? So you show me your spine, then comes this kind of protective thing, and there's a little stick. So this also lets me know that whatever wounds you've gone through, whatever trauma you've ever gone through, that is the medicine that you bring forward for the people that you work with in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your birth year, Jennifer?
1965.
Your month?
July.
And your day?
29.
Wow. I mean, it's just all the women that I've read for tonight, like it's amazing to me. Like all of them, like you understand, like, and there's no doubt in my mind that you get this. Like you understand that in a past life, that you're an old soul, in a past life that you were persecuted.
I can believe that for sure.
And there's no doubt in my mind that in this lifetime that you have to, you're very worried that you're either going to do something, and so you double check everything that you do, like just to make sure that you don't mess up.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you check all the time, right? Like it's like, I've got to make sure I don't do this, and you're very like, and I'm not talking about how people perceive you in terms of how you look and stuff like that. It's more about your behavior and the way that you act. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And what I want you to do is I want you to have a conversation with your fear and say, this is old. This is old. Not only do I believe that probably 60% of it belongs to your mother, but that probably the other 30% belongs in a past life that you have never ever recovered from because you're an old soul. And there's no doubt in my mind that in a past life you were a healer, and you were a very effective healer, but you were a bit out there, like you were non-traditionalist. And something happened that, and there's no doubt in my mind, because you understand there's two of you inside. There's one that complies, and then there's the other side of you that just wants to rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9, 10, 11, 12, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See that? Like, do you read cards?
I just started.
Yeah, you want to know something? I have to say to you, what you need to do is you need to promise me that you're not going to read all the books on what this is and what that is. I want you to just throw out the book, and I want you to connect with the image. I want you to connect with the color. I want you to look at the symbols. I want you to feel what's going on. Like, do you hear what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It's funny because the first thing I do is grab the book and look it up.
Yeah, and I'm here to say, quit it. Like, on our YouTube channel, I put up 18 lessons for tarot. I mean, I was mentored for 2 years by a fabulous reader from Toronto, and she taught me, and so we put it on our YouTube channel, and they're like 15 minutes long. But I teach the way that I was taught, and the first thing she said to me is throw away the book, throw it away, and so I did. And so I want you to know, like, you can see things, and you can, and I don't want you just to kind of cement yourself just with cards. I mean, I definitely think that one that would be really good is a shaman deck as well, like an oracle deck. When my past life deck comes out, you'll have to invest and get one, because you would be so good at that. Like, you understand that you go underneath things.
Okay.
Like, does that make sense to you? Like, you have this, you look underneath everything.
I try to figure out what's happening underneath. Yeah.
Yeah, and all I'm saying is with you, you were like, I've been doing this work for 30 years. Like 30 years I've been a reader, and the best readers are on the planet are the people like yourself, which are Empress, that have a 2 and another 3. So I'm just here to say, I do not want you to question. I want you to throw away the book and say, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to. I know what
Will
this
do.
card, I know what this card feels, and what deck are you working with?
Right now I've got the Rider-Waite deck.
You want to know something? Okay, can I say this to you? I knew you were going to say Rider-Waite. You know why? Because that's
Why?
what everybody tells you to read with.
Yeah.
That's right. And I'm here to say I'm all about Morgan Greer.
Okay.
Yeah. Rider-Waite, like, I mean, trust me. I mean, I knew that that's what the deck that you were working with. And all I'm saying to you is, don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-Rider-Waite. It's just that I'm a rebel. Like, you know, it's like everybody has Rider-Waite. It's like, I love the Morgan Greer. Like, if you look at the images of Morgan Greer, like, I guarantee you cannot fail. Like, you, of all people, can look at the images and just, no doubt in my mind, absolutely no doubt. I'm going to the cards. Don't you like that? End of lecture, eh, hon? 4, 5. 7, 8. Wow, this is a big year for you. This is your year of spiritual truth. Because
Thank
like,
goodness.
you understand that you are a ritualist.
Yeah.
Okay, so like some people will look at it as OCD or whatever, you know, like that sort of thing. But with you, everything is a ritual. And so one thing I definitely would do is while you're learning about the cards, I want you to look at it as a ritual. I want you to place your cards in some important cloth. I want you to act like, you know, when you were doing a reading that you were actually bringing. I don't want you to look at it as a game.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I just don't want you to do that. Like, I mean, I want you, this is a really, really good year for you. And it's a year of, and you move with the energy of the universe, so it lets me know that deep down inside that you believe that you're an orphan.
Okay.
Okay? Like that you came into this life and that you didn't feel like you connected in your family or in your tribe, like you always felt outside of the tribe. Or that you would try to fit in the tribe by being what you thought that they wanted you to do.
I always tried to be a leader, and yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, all I know is it just is really, really cool. I just love the fact that you're in this 5-year. Hang on, I'm going to do a calculation for you. 2016.
It was a bit of a tumultuous year.
Okay. 2007.
Another year that was kind of had upheaval in it.
Okay. 1998.
Not sure offhand.
Okay. 1989.
Yeah.
Okay, 1980. And then 1971.
Not sure.
Okay, you would have been 6 years old.
I city to the country.
Okay. And so who did you leave behind?
Friends.
Okay. And like, because 6, I mean, like, there's no doubt. Like, and so talk to me about that friendship that you lost.
Well, I mean, you know, when you're a little kid and you live on a street and like there's a whole gang of you and you know, that's your posse, that's your people.
Right.
And then I moved out to the country in the middle of nowhere and had no friends, basically.
Yeah. And so, like, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, it's just so neat, eh? Like, I just love that. I just love it. And so, do you have any idea what happened with your friend?
Not really.
Yeah, no, it just is interesting. Here is your first card. This lets me know in a past life that you have done some things that, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that has followed you into this life. So it's almost as if you, and it could be because you did it for trying to survive. You may have done it because you just were not yourself. You may have done something very innocent, but your soul felt that it went against your fabric, your moral fabric. So I call this the sinner card. So this lets me know most people that have this sinner experience, they tend to kiss ass a little bit in this life. You know, and so quit it, you know, like it's like there's nothing that's worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's funny? This is your next card. This is the intuitive. So it lets me know that your medicine comes from inside out. So, I mean, with you, and that's why I'm saying as you're learning the cards, like I want you literally just to take a few minutes and I want you to connect with the inner knowledge and the inner wisdom that, you know, and that's an introspective thing for you before you read, for sure. Also, this lets me know that you would have been like it's possible that you were male and that you were some sort of leader. And so there's no doubt in my mind that you brought that leadership quality forward in this life. It also lets me know that you'd be a very responsible person, even early in your life in this life. So just so you know that you are destined to kind of rule. Like you have the tendency to be like a real amazing leader for sure. This lets me know that you come out of your body when you're triggered. This lets me know that you get all wound up. Yeah, like absolutely wound up, right? And I think part of it is just because you have this spirit that just feels everything. So it's almost like being overwhelmed. Like all the people I've read for tonight, all of them would really benefit from tourmaline. Like we brought in these beautiful mallas, these cedar mallas, and the smell kind of brings us back into our body whenever we're anxious or whenever we're, you know, struggling with something. So just so you know. Let me see, I'm going to do one more. Here we go. Oops. This one here. So this lets me know that no doubt that there's a hook. So this could be where people know how to manipulate you. I want you to really be aware of who has the power to kind of, where you shrink around them or where you don't speak your truth around them or where you change or alter yourself around. Then you know that they have a hook in you. And so there's no doubt in my mind that you would be really great if you can figure out who's hooked into your field and being able to release that hook. I guarantee you can do it for other people, because as practitioners, as readers, we draw people to us that have the similar kind of issues. Like, do you know what I mean? Just intuitively. Yeah. So, I mean, so that it'd be just interesting. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed your reading, Jennifer.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, and so I want you to do the work. I want you to do, like, don't bring your cards out in some light way. I want you to bring them out, and I want you just to have a conversation with your cards and let them speak to you. Let them speak to you. They will speak to you. And the coolest thing of all is that you will hear them. The other thing too is before you go to bed, I want you to put your cards under your pillow because with you, you resonate with the energy of the moon, and you're just like me. You go to bed, you have something going on, you wake up and you're just clear. So I want you to connect with the moon energy as well.
Absolutely. I'll do that tonight.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. Anyways, yes, Lloyd, I hear you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lloyd.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Okay,
Take care.
you too, love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Listen, Lloyd, can we talk about the dragging of the pen over the bell?
No.
And you know what, hon? I looked over at you for 2 seconds. I thought you were sleeping. No? You feeling good?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the bell.
On the inside, I'm dancing.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's quite a sight.
That's what we need to do, Lloyd. We need to dance.
Mm-hmm. Been a long time.
It has. Well, we dance in our kitchen sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We dance in our car sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Need to do it more.
Yes. Yes, Lloyd.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Can you spell your name for me?
Randi.
See that? You want to know something that's really interesting to me? You know that you're a little bit out there, eh?
Yes.
And see what's really interesting? You understand that sometimes you really struggle with deadlines or you struggle with completing things. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And that, not that you're a lazy person, it's just that for you, it's kind of doing things full circle. And do you know why that is?
I don't.
Because if you look at your last letter in your name, do you see it? It's just there. And I mean, it doesn't really have, it's open. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So in other words, you kind of go by what you feel. It's I'm going to go do this. Okay, now I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's just really, it's just screaming at me, your letter I. Your birth year?
1989.
Okay. And so this is the energy. Most people that have a 9 aspect, they come to this life and they have the wounded heart of an orphan. So they're loners and they're deep thinkers and they're curious and they're spiritual leaders and they're very sensitive to wounds and they're very sensitive to shaming and they love animals and they connect with the energy of animals. Does this make sense to you?
Absolutely.
And there's no doubt in my mind, if somebody messes with you, they're out. They are done. They are gone.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just interesting. Your month?
November.
Wow. And your day?
21.
Wow. Do you know what? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hang on 1 second. You understand, I mean, every single person that I've read for tonight, I mean, and this is what's really interesting. Number one, the thing that you all have in common is all of you are natural born leaders. All of you are completely sensitive to shaming. All of you have been silenced, not only in this life, but in a past life. All of you definitely are very sensitive to any type of manipulation. If people manipulate you in your life, then you don't trust them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes. And so for you, you understand that there's a part of your energy, that your energy is divided, that it goes in different opposing kind of directions.
Yes, that makes sense.
That you get, often you'll kind of stay in your mind and you just kind of keep overanalyzing everything.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And your birthday again was the 23rd?
21st.
21st, okay. And so there's no doubt in my mind, what you need to do, this is what you need to do. I'm just going to do this again, just because I'm all excited. 21st, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You want to know something? I've been doing this work for a long time. And as a numerologist, you know, like you hear all about the guardian numbers 2, 2, 11, 11, and like I think they're all cool. Like, don't get me wrong. But for me, the most powerful numbers are 2, 5, 9. 2, whenever I see a 2, if it's an 11, that's a 2. I mean, anything that reduces down to a single digit of 2 has to do with past life. And you have this aspect. Not only do you have it in your numbers, but it's an 11, which means you walk side by side with God, however you perceive God to be. The next number that's really important is 5. And 5 speak of soul contract. And this is where our soul is contracted to come to this life and give back of ourselves. I guarantee that any work that you do, like you're not going to be happy working in a factory, you're not going to be happy working in a grocery store, you're not going to be happy working in a bank. You're going to be happy where you inspire and instill and empower and protect and advocate for people that are trying to change their lives. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes, absolutely does.
Yeah, and then 9, which, so you have the 5 in you, okay? Then 9, which is 1989, and this is your life. This is what you came to this life, and you're a spiritual leader. Like, do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and so what kind of healing arts work do you do?
So I'm a PSW.
Okay, and so do you own cards?
I don't.
Well, you're going to have to invest. And I know this great little store where you can buy some beautiful cards, because for you, I say this, do it all. Like,
Okay.
do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like for 14 years, I worked in nursing homes. I mean, that's one thing I definitely did. And then what I did was I cleaned houses. All of it's energy work. All of it is contract work. All of it is, like, no doubt in my mind. But if I were you, I would invest in some cards for sure. Absolutely, 100%. And I mean, you and I share the 1, 1 and the 9. So you like, I mean, you and I have a very similar kind of interest, like, if that makes sense to you.
Yes, it does.
Mind you, I'm just a little bit older than you, but you know, hey, what are you going to do? Let me see, 5. So you understand that at the moment you're not really in your body, that you are adjusting to something that happened last year.
Yes, I became a new mother.
Okay? So no doubt in my mind, like, this is a huge adjustment for you. Like, it's not, even when you were pregnant, it was easier. Like, you know what I mean? Even when you were like 9 months pregnant, it was easier to negotiate than what you're going through right now. And so there's lots of changes. And so your child's name?
Gary.
So G.
A-R-Y.
Okay, and the birth year is this?
2020.
Okay, and the month?
June.
And the day?
10.
10?
Yes.
Okay. See this? Past life. Not only did you have your son when you were in a 9 year, but he is a 2. So I guarantee that he, and I mean this in the most respectful way, he is probably the very first male that you've ever trusted fully in your life.
Yes.
Like, don't you think that's the coolest thing?
Yeah.
Then we're going to the father. Father's birth year?
His father?
No, yours.
My 1964.
And the month?
September
And the day?
26.
Wow. And see, like, you understand that your dad wasn't really available to you emotionally.
Correct.
And that, I mean, like, there's no doubt, like, there is almost like a magician, like, he was kind of a shapeshifter, like, it's like he was there, but he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me see. I want to see if you have a contract with your dad. So, I mean, when you, in 1989, your father was in an 8 year, which means that your life anchored his. So were you the firstborn?
Between my parents, yes.
Okay. And so so in other words, did he have children outside of that marriage?
Yes, he had a son prior to me with another woman.
Okay, so you understand that your father was split.
Yes.
Okay, so do you see how you would have absorbed that?
Yeah.
Okay, and so talk to me about Gary's father. His name?
Michael,
Okay, and birth year
1986.
and the month
August
and the day.
6th.
Okay. Wow, that's really wild. You have a past life connection with Michael. So you, Gary, and you have it's like you guys got all sorts of contracts. So are you still with Michael?
Yes,
Did you get married?
we did not.
Okay. When did you first get together?
2008.
Okay. Let me see. Wow, see that? There's no doubt in my mind. So let me ask you, what was going on with you when in 2008?
A lot. I got in an abusive relationship like 2 months prior to meeting Michael, so a lot happened that year.
Yeah. And so just so you know, do you see what I'm saying? You weren't really present when you connected with Michael.
No, I wasn't.
And so there's no doubt in my mind that this change with you having your son has definitely even shifted the relationship you have with Michael.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just so you know. And just so you know. But see, what's really amazing to me, this is what I find is really, really amazing to me. You and Michael walk in the same energy. So not only do you have a past life, but there's no doubt in my mind that you have a past life connection and that in a past life that you had children together as well.
That's crazy.
And so I'm here to say, both of you have the opportunity to grow. And there's no doubt in my mind that, this adjustment to your son, there's no doubt, both of you. And so do you talk about it?
Yes.
That's good. Because, if I were you guys, I definitely, when I start doing readings in the store again, you guys should come. Because I'm here to say that both of you move in the same energy, that you have a past life connection, that, you came together at a time, people don't just show up. And this is what's really neat, is I truly believe that Michael helped to kind of restore your spirit, but I guarantee that you did the same for him in a past life.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind. And so it's like this, right? This is let's be honest, you got pregnant in a really bizarre, whacked out year. And so and it just compounds everything, right? So all I'm saying is I want you to keep talking to your hubby. I want you to say to Michael, you know what, I talked to this weirdo numerologist and she said that we have this really deep, strong spiritual connection. And I know that both of us have come from a place of wounding. And I know both of us have been thrown away by people. But she's asked me just to keep talking. Because let me say this about your son, Gary, is that he shares the very same energy as his father. So there is no doubt in my mind that not only did you pray for a male to come into your life that you could trust, that you could be, but not only did it show up with your partner Michael, but it showed up with your son.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's amazing?
Yes.
So I don't want you to be hard on Michael.
No.
Don't you love that? Do you hear what I'm saying?
I do.
There's no doubt in my mind. Here's the deal: is you understand you're a bit of a nag. and that you're a worrywart freak.
Yeah.
And I'm here to say, on behalf of your old soul, I want you to stop it.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you love that? 2011 is another big year. 2002. 1993. So you would have been 4 years old. So you're a natural born leader. Like I'm telling you, you're a leader.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me do your cards. I mean, and like, that's what's really interesting. Like, you understand that you cling to your kid.
I do.
Okay? So let me put it to you this way. You and your kid, you and Gary, and Daddy's over this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm saying quit it. Don't you love that? Like, who else is going to tell you that on a Tuesday night? Like, honestly. Like, I mean, you know, like, there's no doubt in my mind that, like, you are an amazing mother. But I'm here to say that your partner, at one time, he was it. And then you have a baby, and then he kind of gets shelved. Would you agree?
I would agree, yes.
Yeah. And I mean, he still thinks you're cute and all that. So there you go. Okay, ready? Look at this. Look at the little animal. Aw. You got, like, do you have a spirit animal with you?
Sorry?
Do you have a spirit animal with you? An animal that has walked with you in life that has passed away?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, just so you know, like, there's no doubt in my mind that, like, I mean, you got the animal card, so it lets me know that you have a spirit animal walking with you, and that this animal, who is this animal?
Could be a number of ones, but I would guess that it would have been my cat, Maya.
Okay, and so, like, there's no doubt in my mind that, think about when you lost Maya.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, just so you know, Maya walks beside you, and there's no doubt in my mind that she's walked with you for many, many lifetimes. And that she left at a time that unlocked your grief.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, like when you were crying about her, you were crying about everything. Okay?
I was, yeah.
Look at this. Wow, you got all these animals around you. This is the eagle, so it lets me know that you're a natural born leader, that there's no doubt in my mind, highly effective, very responsible, that you soar, you love the challenge, you're a mentor, you're all a very powerful soul. Like, would you agree?
I would agree, yes.
Yes. Okay. Here's the next one. So this lets me know that you're a bit of a student. So, I mean, like, you read, like, no doubt records are important to you, events are important to you, you're a bit of a record keeper, you hang on to things, including grudges. I mean, you know, like, you kind of hang on to that as well.
That sounds all right, yes.
Yeah. And then this lets me know that you're so gifted and blessed and highly intuitive, and that there's no doubt in my mind that you did a lot of beautiful work. And it's really interesting because think about it. Like, think about your service, like how much you love to give of yourself. And like, there's no doubt in my mind. And like, you're an old soul, like, no doubt.
Yeah.
This lets me know that there's an armoring to you. So that when you get upset, you pull away and you put up a wall.
Yeah.
And that you sort of just retreat.
Yes.
Let me ask you, does Michael do the same thing?
Yes, he does.
Okay? And so when he does that, how does it make you feel?
Angry.
Yeah. And so, like, that's one thing, because what it does is it creates a space, right? Like, it creates a space, and you don't want that space. Like, do you know what I mean?
No, correct, yeah.
Yeah. And this lets me know you're a little bit witchy. You're a little occultist, like you've got some magic in you. And so, like, and there's no doubt in my mind that this is really like the moon magic. This is like just this beautiful, inspired kind of creativity inside of you. So I definitely want you to invest in some cards.
Okay, I will.
Okay, good. So other than that, did you enjoy your reading? So you tell me, what are you going to get off and say to Michael?
That I love him.
And
I'll quit being an egg.
and that you guys got to come up with a better way. Because the only reason, like, let me say this to you, love. When you, let's say if you get into a place where both of you pull away, because both of you do, okay? Then there's this huge space, and within that space is stress and tension. And so, who do you think is going to absorb that?
Our son.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm here to say that he is a shaman, that he is a leader, that he absolutely needs balance, that he's a clingy little thing, and I don't want you to let him cling on you, because, like, I mean, like, your life will be over. It's like, this is the one thing I loved about my daughter. My daughter would come to me when she was little and say, Mommy, I want to go to bed. It's like, right on, see you later, bye. Right? So, I mean, I want you just to know, like, you know, and with you, you would just cling, like, you would just cling, and all I'm saying is, you know, and Gary would just cling to you. So, I mean, I want you just to know that the greatest gift you can give Gary is to really stay connected with his dad. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. You have a beautiful evening.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Bye, love.
Bye.
Like, that was just the greatest readings all night long. Just these really, like, I mean, it's kind of neat because yesterday was International Women's Day, and you know, my daughter put out a post and it was just saying that, and that's who showed up tonight. Like, was this powerful females.
Cool.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. We will be back again next Tuesday evening, 7 to 9. And thank you so much for all your beautiful comments. Thank you for texting. Thank you for just being here. I read every comment. Don't always answer them back because I get a little bit distracted doing other things. But thank you so much for supporting us and the night vibration. And
Thank you.
Say good night for now.
Have a
Take
good
good
night,
care.
everyone.
Millie and her little